Guys, welcome back to another clip of Schach-manuel-lernen. Today again with a classical game that I played this Saturday by first round of the new season in Switzerland's first league. And yeah, with that we jump right into the game. As opening we had the classical Sicilian opening. Then I played the pin variation. It's not a really common variation, but time after time I play it. E5 is main line, takes. Now I lost a tempo with that, but I gave him a weak pawn structure. Queen g4, this is all theory. Yeah, here taken is still well known. A sideline. He could play queen g3 to prevent this double attack here. And then attack here, f4, d6, can't capture because bishop takes, and so on and so on. So it's a bit, unclear position because he has the exchange more, but I have much better pawn structure, plus it's always difficult for protecting c3. He instead played h4, tried to play that to attack here on the king side. I played queen a5 to make this double attack, protects, bishop g7, attacking here. Then we could lead into a similar position that we saw before. And instead he decided to play rook d1 for counterplaying. But the problem is he gives up this pawn, so I took it with bishop. I want to keep the queens on the board since his king is still in the middle. f4, and I go back. And now it's still exchange down, but for one pawn already. He tries to castle. I try to finish finally my development. Here I checked computer says d5. Also that bishop takes here f5 once more. Kind of that. I played queen c5 because my idea was to pin this knight and to gain a pawn back. He played king h1. Now I could have taken, but he gets a lot of counterplay with h5 and my development is still really slow. So I decided to play d5. And then what would have been better for him is takes, c4, bishop a6. And if he takes, I will take bishop, so this is not possible. And then I will win the second pawn, and then it's pretty balanced game. And instead of that, he played h5, which is a natural move. He attacks here, taking here, takes back. And then my move was not the best. I should have taken here, then taking here, and here I got some pawns, but my development is still not really good with f5 and takes. But it would have been better, according to the engine. I was too greedy instead, so I took here with bishop. f5. This is calculated. Here are several sidelines, but they are not really fascinating or something. The point was here I took, because otherwise everything will go up, and then this rook here will be really strong. The thing is, until here I calculated it, but I missed queen h4. That was the move. Because he attacks the bishop twice, and it's just once protected, but at the same time he can, infiltrate my position with queen d8. So bishop g7, try to exchange queens. If he takes with rook, I can play bishop e6, attack rook, and everything is quite good protected. And here was a bit a critical moment because I'm still material up, but I can't really making here progress. Let's say, I don't know, rook b8 and then try to do something here. It's not really good working because it just takes, and it's not leading to a good ending, kind of. So instead of that, I played bishop e6 to sacrifice these 2 pawns for piece activity. So he took rook c8, attacking this pawn. He took, I took, and now you see I sacrificed d5, b7 at a7, but I got c2 back, and because it's double attack, I will get 1 more pawn back. Bishop f3 takes, and now it's already quite interesting endgame. It's even more or less, but the imbalance is, of course, he has a rook and I have bishop plus 2 pawns, and in addition of that I have the bishop pair. Here now is threatening rook d8, so I have to stop that with bishop f6, but this bishop is really good on this position. He goes to h4, he defends d8, and it's not possible to attack him. Rook e a1, queen b8, so this queen has no check, plus my threat is queen h4. If he goes king h1, king g1, I can give a check, he's forced to take, and then I have much better position. He tried to exchange queens. I said okay, but in my favor, so I win now this move. If I would have taken here, wouldn't help. Or if I would take queen h2, I would lose a tempi, a move. Exchange. Then rook e2. I decided to take it because the bishop pair is quite strong. And here our team was in a spot to win, so I knew this position I can't lose. But I played, of course, for the win. And now this move is quite instructive, like g5, because I try to play g4, that this pawn is not defendable anymore. So that was what happened. Bishop f6. Then here, not falling into the trap. King h6 is not good because he just takes, and I can't take because of rook takes. Maybe it's still won, but it's a lot of work and you just lose a pawn for nothing. So bishop e7, then he attacks, defending, and then it's quite tough. He played king g2, which is a mistake according to Engine, but it's really tough to see why. I just show you quickly a small sideline. Like he should have tried to defend it with rook and everything. Then I play this. You see I don't make progress because I can't move it back. f6, and then when I try to play f4, it's check always. So it would have been a draw. It's not forced this entire line, but it's much easier to defend. But king g2 is, it's not clear why it's a mistake, at least not in my eyes. But we will see what happened. King g5, bringing the king into the game. Try to play f4 after bishop, and I'm also out of this pin of this pawn. Then h6 to block here everything. Bishop f6, he waits. Bishop e5, f6 to protect it. Then here I could have played f4 directly, but I decided to give this check first. f4 takes. And now I have two connected passers with bishop pair. That's, yeah, should be one. Rook d8, I gave a check. He can go here or here. If he goes to f1, I take this pawn, and then, yeah, I have 3 pawns plus bishop against rook, and that should win as well. He played this move, and now after this move we have quite a good sequence. You can try to find it if you would like to and pause the video. I saw that when I calculated it, like I could have taken the pawn, but here is a forced winning sequence, like he plays rook g8, then I give the check. He only has one move to take here because bishops are taking everything and king is taking this escape square. He takes, and then I have bishop f4 to pin the rook, and then I will win the rook. And yeah, that was the end of the game. What's also important that you calculate always in these positions that he cannot exchange his rook for this bishop and pawn, because then you have for this bishop and pawn, because then you have different bishop color ending, and this is really hard to win, if not impossible. And this bishop has the wrong color than this square, also for keeping that in mind. And yeah, that was another game, classical game. I hope you learned a bit something. Hit the subscribe button if you didn't do it yet. Leave a thumbs up here, it would support me and I would be really thankful for that. And yeah, with these words, I wish you all the best, take care and have fun by playing chess.